children of the night, and welcome to Tarot Nights with the Hanged Empress. Here we do shadow work following the moon.
Yo, VI, play the beat.
Hello kids, and welcome to the Capricorn moon. Wow, okay, this is just one of the worst feelings in the world, I tell you. But I'm just overwhelmed with the sensation of like, it's taken so long to get here. And we finally got here, wherever here is, whatever this point is. And it feels like I don't even know what to do. I've been waiting for so long. I forgot what the plan was. I don't even know what to do with it. I feel like a dog who just finally caught a car. Now what? Now what? Can I do this? Are we ready for this? What's going on, cat? Feeling unprepared? Or just getting your bearings? Just catching a stride? Maybe a little bit of both. It's a journey. It's a process. I think there's a lot of things coming up that aren't coming out. And the reason that the other things aren't really coming out, turning out, going the way that you expected, planned, was because what is arriving is in perfect balance and justice. It's a harmonized gift from your highest masculine and feminine self, and that's why it feels like this. That's why it feels like this, because there is subtle nuances and elements of the energies that we are putting in to our progression, our trajectory, and that is higher and lower vibrations, and they are moving on the scale, and they have to move, they have to bounce off of each other. So things naturally have to come up and fall off at this point. So the more lost and confused you feel, the more in alignment you might be becoming, if that makes sense. It feels like old familiarities are no longer comforting in the same way. So there's these new things that we are replacing them with, and we're kind of just bouncing back and forth between like old habits that die hard and new habits that are going to carry us forward into our best alignment and path. And the guidance that we are getting from ourselves is the most important. Yeah, that is precisely how I just felt a second before that dropped. Was like everything, all of my attentions just split off into 5 different locations. Like they just parted ways. Every thought left the station at the same time in opposite directions, and I didn't know which train I was even on. Are we talking forwards or backwards? I think the justice and the balance and the trust and intuition by our own inner guidance is the thing that we have to carry into this situation. As I said that, I was staring at this girl's backpack. She's headed straight towards the thick of the woods. That's where she's going, into the thick of it. And if you are headed into the thick of it, then this is what we will bring. This is what we have to bring. This is what we have to remember to pack as we go along our journey into the darkness of the woods. Sorry, I just caught the tower there at the bottom. We'll pull it if we need to. If it comes up, it comes up. I am kind of keeping these cards a little bit concealed, I guess. Learn as we go. That's spooky. Okay, so pitch pipe. Check in with your pitch, check in with your tone, and observe the pitch and the tone of others. Because what's going on behind the back of this girl with the backpack, who we have now identified or picked ourselves out of from the crowd. Because what's happening, what she's turning away from, and the way these fell is so spooky. The hands and the agreement of the binds, and it feels like this, our main character, had nothing to do with it. They were completely about like blinded in the situation over some sort of agreement, pact, uh yeah, some contract, something that was very binding and not meant to be released. You were not intended to be released from this situation. You were the deal was not that you had a part to do with the deal, but the deal was you were going to stay put and you weren't going to go anywhere. And there's some team up working together energies, a collaboration of energies, if you will, colluding towards this restriction or control. But what's beneath that, the Six of Swords, and I think the contracts or agreements may be made between the others, like the flying monkeys. The deals made between this saboteur, we'll call them, and their flying monkeys are breaking away, falling apart, blowing up, coming to a destruction. I just got a very like unique sensation that I'm trying to figure out how to communicate with the ties and the binds wrapped around this figure and metaphorically created in this exchange, and how the loosening of the knots on the outside, the the failing of the infrastructure of the unit that was meant to hold you into place, as those ties and ends loosen and burn up or burn out, it feels like those ropes are going to drop. It feels like the blindfold that is orange, representing the sacral chakra, um, is going to drop with it, be pulled down with great care. All right. I want to take both of these. They feel combined. The Initiative of Pentacles and the Two of Wands. Sorry, just getting lost in the separation. Um, Staring at the burnt wand here while we hold this fresh new one with the guide stone placed upon it, choosing our direction. I think each individual is choosing their own direction as these um, knots and binds start to loosen and separate. Because yeah, it's giving me that burnt rope. It looks like the burnt rope, and all of those parts and pieces who are knowingly or unknowingly contributing to this restriction, obligation. I'm really like the words attached to this. They're difficult. It's difficult to even get out. There's something like tied in a knot even around my throat chakra. Even my words and expressions are needing to be undone in order to be loosened, to be set free. But with our Initiate of Pentacles, not all is lost. One moment. But what comes out of all of these events and things that are happening is a good grasp on substance and a sustainable way of existence. This is learning that independence, wherever it is in your life aspect where you feel like your independence isn't as strong, those weak spots are what are growing and maturing and evolving. We're gaining perspective and control over ourselves, our own lives, and direction. And again, what we hold is actually substantial. It is sustainable. I know that there's a lot of hopelessness, desperation, fear, and confusion all up in the midst of this. Is literally as the smoke, because we're holding this card sideways, it's creating that thick fog through our season and our scope of perspective. So there is a lot of darkness that we're going to have to navigate our way through. But as the journey seems to separate ourselves from certain circumstances, surroundings, situations, and even relations to a level and degree, there's not heavy water here, but there is a lot of exchange. There's a lot of swords and a lot of communication. So there's some interactions that are happening on the external as well as the internal. Be wary of those traps. Be wary of those partnerships that are, or team ups that are literally working against you at this time. Not that is a focal point, because again, as we focus on burning our own ropes and binds and restrictions that we place on ourselves, taking those bad habits and replacing them with good habits, those events are naturally reflecting and unfolding out there in the fog, in the distance. And any collaborations that were there to keep you in a tie, in a bind, are starting to burn away, fade away, dissipate and dissolve. So what comes out of the thick fog when the smoke finally clears? Just looking at that little smoke bit there. When that smoke finally clears, is a level-headed understanding of self, position, and where to go and what to do with it. do I even have any more for you, or do we really just have to wrap up these few cards? Because that was kind of lovely, neat, and like a perfect little package that I just want to tie a bow onto now and present to you. All of those ties and binds that were constricting and constraining you, I have taken the loose ends and I have used them to wrap them up in a nice, neat little package. That's my gift to you. This is the circumstance and the situation. What you are holding in your hands is all of the events leading up until now, all wrapped up. And now it's got a nice little bow of understanding, perspective, and the gift that is inside is the newer, stronger self. It is the more independent self, the more self reliant, self trusting self. How many more times can we say self before I put that self on a shelf? Okay. Jewez. I hear it. I hear it. I hear that echo back and forth because I'm saying self so many times and I hear it back and forth or out in the distance. It's being called back to me, but mean. Like, say it, but mean. Taking care of self. Selfish. Like, just hurling it back to you, kind of bouncing off of these, of like a cave walls, off of cave walls, just hollering out from the depths of that dark, deep shadow space. But remember that it's just words and it's just a perspective. And if there is something somewhere out there in their own depths of shadow who is calling out to you, that is their negative lens. That's coming from their place, from their cave of darkness, not your own. You are allowed to hold your own lens and your own sight. When this blindfold falls and we are finally able to see all of these circumstances and situations come together into a nice, neat little package, that's when we'll understand. This is our lens. This is how we see it. This is how we hold it. It has nothing to do with the intent of others and everything to do with the intent of ourselves. And allowing others to assume our intent is to allow them to control us, to restrict us, to restrain us. Just because somebody else claims on your intent, that doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it true. What makes it right and what makes it true is your acceptance of that as truth. Because we are all things. We are dark, we are light. And it's all about how you look at it and how you use it. And that's how we take back control over self versus selfish. Maintaining the self is good because the self is what gives to others. And there is a natural balance to those things. And those are the lessons that we are learning. So don't get too lost in the fog. Don't get too caught up in the firefight. Just remember, it's all about your lens. It's all about your scope, how you hold and how you carry. So carry with lightness, carry with love, cherish yourself and every part of the journey, be it good or bad, because what's coming out of it is a reunion beyond measure. Even if that reunion is just with the true you, could you come up with a better end of the story? Thanks, kids. Have a fantastic moon. We'll see you next time. Okay, one more thing on the lack of water in your read. I don't want you to be overly concerned if you are not attaching to your own emotions correctly right now. There is a natural psychological defense mechanism that does sometimes shut these things off. Remember that you can get it back, but sometimes that detachment is exactly what you need to get through the situation. And it is a natural occurring event that happens within your body, not a supplementally supplied detachment. But if you get to the sweet spot in there, you will be able to detach from even your own hopelessness. And that's a beautiful thing because you can own your hopelessness and you can get it back whenever you want to. But right now, if your body shuts that off, then all you have left is hope. And all you have left is everything that is good and everything that is light. So allow the strings to be cut loose from yourself. Don't fear that you won't ever be able to touch your emotions again, because you will. But if they do turn off right now, accept it as a gift. One that you didn't have to pay for, one that your body made for you. And we'll work together to bring yourself back to connection. But allow yourself to go through the process however your body needs to go through the process. Because you are here to help you too. Thanks, kids. Bye for real.